Hello, Soul family. Jordan Peterson coming at you live from our Soul Studios here in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Today is January 27th. We are doing our Soul Virtual Kickoff starting right now. And it is so good to have you on live with us. As always, when we look to our left, it's because we're seeing all of your comments on our YouTube channel, and it looks like we have a great group out there. Hello to all of you. What's up, you guys? Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. I hope you're surviving this cold front that seems to be taking over the U.S. My land, it has been chilly. So I'm glad, if nothing else, you can stay indoors tonight, snuggle up with a good blanket and some hot cinnamate or Renew, and watch a fantastic event that we have going on tonight. Sarah Spencer says, "Oh, it's so cold in Chicago." I believe it, right? Happy Tuesday night to you too as well, Lydia. We're so excited to have you all join us. We love events, and even if it's a live event, we just love being together as a soul family. Last event that we had back in October here in Provo, Utah, was our Ignite event, and we had so many of you come and be a part of it, and it was so wonderful to have you there. Not only was it wonderful to be together as a soul family, but we also launched two fantastic new products, the Vibrancy and our Soul Agile essential oil blend. You guys, these things were unbelievable. We've been smelling this thing while we've been getting ready for this, and it has been fantastic. We're going to talk more about it tonight. But before we do that and jump into everything else, let's do a little bit of a walk down memory lane as we see some pictures from our last event in October.
Out the window, the inferno begins to rage. Time to let go, baby, let's go, it's not safe. Seem to think there's no extinguishing the fiery blaze. I've seen things that'll make you believe in better days. So what you gotta do, what you gotta choose before it's too late. 'Cause I'm on my way to better days, and I wanna take you with me, yeah. Well, stay if you gotta stay, if you gotta say place is okay. But I'm on my way to better days, and I wanna take you with me, yeah. Take you with me, take you with me. Out the window, baby, let's throw caution to the wind. It's finally time to find the line that's drawn in the sand. So we're making our way down the highway, leaving ash-covered land. So are you with me? Tell me you're with me till the end.
Oh, doesn't that just put a smile on your face, seeing all those pictures of what we were doing and the good times we had together? If you were watching that and you thought to yourself, I can't believe I missed it and I wanted to be there, but I wasn't able to, have no fear, because we have another event coming up right around the corner. And especially while we're sitting around freezing wherever we're at right now, Debbie says she's cuddled up in front of her fireplace, sipping her cinnamate under her soul minky blanket. I'll tell you what, the next event is going to be fantastic. As you know, we're heading down to South Padre Island off the coast of Texas, and it is beautiful down there. Look at those gorgeous toes sitting there by the pool. That was a few months ago when we went down for a site visit. Those chairs are just calling my name right now with those palm trees. It is absolutely gorgeous. We see the sand there in the lower right corner as well. That's Alan checking out the beach. Man, it's just a beautiful place, and it's so fun to be together. We've got a few other things we have going on there. As you can see, man, the beach there is amazing. The road is so fun. It just goes up and all of a sudden ends, and you just have endless beach from there on out. The sunsets are beautiful. It's just an amazing, amazing area. And if you are into anything, just come and be a part of what we have going on. It's just going to be so wonderful. And the fishing was great. Got a picture of that as well. The food was fantastic there at the restaurant. We absolutely enjoyed ourselves. And here's a little sneak peek of some of the exciting things we want to do as well here on this next picture. we have been in communication with them down there. South Padre Island is actually kind of the sandcastle building capital of the world, they claim. And there's a sandcastle walk thing that you can go on and see these different sandcastles. So we're going to do a team building event where we're going to go out there and they're going to teach us how to build sandcastles. So super excited for that. It's going to be a great afternoon. We're also going to go, as you can see on this boat, we're going to go out and do a dolphin watching sunset tour and just enjoy ourselves out on the water as well. We've rented the whole boat, so we'll have the whole thing to ourselves. It is going to be fantastic, and we are so excited to be with you down there. If you haven't already registered, make sure you get the registration in so we know you're coming. We can plan on you. We're looking at doing not only the sandcastle building, the dolphin sunset boat cruise. We're looking at doing a service project down there while we're there as well. There's just going to be so many opportunities. Another thing we're really excited about is we're going to take time to collaborate together in a roundtable forum, talk about what's working, what we can improve, how we can become better, and just really collaborate while we're down there, which I think is going to be a highlight for a lot of individuals. You may be looking at that and saying, all right, I need to sign up, I need to come, I need to take care of this, I need to book my hotel. Yes, take care of all of that. Plus, we also have our travel cash that you can earn as well. Just before we started, I looked at it. 80% of those who are coming with us have already earned travel cash. We're giving out thousands of dollars in this travel cash to come be with us. So make sure you're earning. Make sure you're doing the little things. Quick reminder on how to earn new enrollments. Easy way to earn some travel cash. Your non-enrollment mentor volume growth. Easy way to earn enrollment cash. Sharing the menopause guide as well, ranking up, those 4 main ways to earn some travel cash to help you out with the cost. I'm telling you, it's just going to be awesome. You absolutely need to come be with us. So we're so excited for that. So we're going to see you again soon. Minnie says, wow, 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 can't wait. Love dolphins. It's going to be great. And what to wear? If South Padre Island, if you've been reading my Soul Scoop, you know that it's a no tie. They have a no tie ordinance. It's very relaxed, tranquilo. It's one of those places that you can just come casual and just enjoy the time together. So it's going to be great. We're going to send out more information, including about shuttles. There's a lot of shuttle companies that will bring you from the airport to the hotel. It's about $40 to $45 a person, depending on how many people want to jump on that shuttle. We'll be sending out more information. Uber works really well as well. It's a little bit less expensive if you all want to jump in an Uber and come over as well. So there's opportunities. We'll send out some more information as we draw closer, but just know that it's coming. Debbie says, rooms booked, route planned, outfits picked out, cannot wait. Sounds like we're there. And Lydia says she's glad she doesn't have to wear a tie. Lydia, I give you permission never to wear a tie ever again. Sound good? Perfect. All right, guys. Well, we've got a great evening planned for you. You're going to hear from Kendall and Greg. We got some guests on as well that are going to be talking. We've got a great event planned for you tonight. So without further ado, let's turn the time over to our founder, CEO, and president, Greg Halliday.
Thank you, Jordan. It's good to see everyone. And Jordan, you are so good. He never ceases to amaze me. Soul would not be Soul Naturals without JP. I want him to know that. I love the way he started us off. I have such good memories of Ignite. I just love rubbing shoulders. All of us do. It's a big deal to us, and virtually too. I love seeing your chats. A few of you, howdy, Deb and Maria. I love it when you chat in. It just makes us feel like we're all in the same room. I get to take you through a couple of interesting presentations tonight. First, as Jordan mentioned, we launched the new Soul Vibrancy. And not only just vibrancy, which really deals with those minerals and certain nutrients that the ocean abounds in that are not so prevalent here on terra firma. And when we add those to our diet, they can make all the difference in our health. So not only is that product something we introduced because we felt like it was missing and that it could make a difference, but also there's a package called the Perimenopause Package, which is a group of 3 products that was announced at our Soul Ignite event, and a group of people participated in a study. That study is ongoing. Part of it was a 1-month study, and then there were a smaller group of people that continued it on for 3 months so that we could track outcomes. Here to present that, this is just beginning to be analyzed and compiled, the results of this study, but the indomitable Dr. Allison Caldwell Andrews, who has recorded her presentation so that you can have it, use it, share it. She has given us a sneak peek at the first part of those results of the study, and in coming months, we'll see the rest of it as the study concludes. She is our chief scientific advisor. She did her postdoc, if you're newer to Soul, in mind and body medicine at Yale University Medical School, Yale School of Medicine. She has been published. She's reviewed scientific articles and studies. She is as bright a mind, and I might say brighter, than any scientist I've worked with throughout my 35 years in this career. And also, she doesn't wear blinders. She is not afraid to turn her head and look all around and to add to this wonderful background and knowledge that she has. So, and she's also a wonderful teacher. So let's listen to her presentation where she gives some highlights from this survey group that participated in the perimenopause package. Dr. Allison.
Hello, my soul family. We're going to talk about the perimenopause package results from the survey we did. So this survey took place in October and November. We looked at people over 1 month. There were 100 people who responded to this survey. It's a longitudinal survey. That means that it goes over time. So we asked people how they felt at the baseline before they started taking any of the supplements in the perimenopause package. So we did baseline, then we looked at 2 weeks in, and then 4 weeks in. There are some people who are still continuing. We had a smaller number to continue. We don't have those results yet, but we will. So right now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the results from 100 people who took the perimenopause package. We've got what things looked like at baseline, at 2 weeks, and at 4 weeks. So we mainly measured anxiety and fatigue. There were some other outcomes. We're still working on those. But we do have some great results to share with you about anxiety and fatigue, both of which are a really big deal in perimenopause and in general mental health, not just perimenopause. Okay, and then we also asked people to share their comments in terms of what did they notice and what might they say if they were going to leave an official review. We had two kinds of results, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative results capture the why. And so these are answers to open-ended questions. They're answers that are descriptive. You can't really put a number on them. Like if somebody said, wow, I really love how the car is so red, you can't say, wow, that sounds like a 7 to me, right? So qualitative are open-ended descriptive results. They capture kind of like your authentic stories about the perimenopause package. Quantitative results look at how much. And so they're measuring with numbers. We've got a couple standardized scales that we used. We transform those scale results into numbers and then compare them. And so those are quantitative results. When you interpret results, you can't interpret qualitative results the same as quantitative. When you are looking at quantitative or the numbers, there are a couple ways you can look at them. The first is there a difference between time 1 and time 2 or time 1, 2, and 3? What is the difference? And then you want to look at how big is the difference. And so whether or not there's a difference is sort of a yes or no question. Yes, there's a difference. No, there's a difference. And then the next question is, okay, so there's a difference. Tell me more about it. How big is the difference? A lot of people or a lot of articles, reports, sometimes they don't report effect size. They don't report how big the difference is. They just tell you, yes, there is a difference. There's no such thing, by the way, as a really significant or very significant or highly significant. It's either statistically significant or it's not. It's a yes or no. You can have a higher probability that something is statistically significant, but it's not more significant. And so what you're doing is you're saying it's very probable that this result And this result, this was not by chance alone. It's because there really was a real difference. So that's statistically significant. Our results were statistically significant. They also had an effect size. So let me tell you about that. It's pretty cool. Another way to think about effect size is you can have a small or trivial effect size, small, medium, or moderate, or a large effect size. An effect size is like a standard deviation. So a standard deviation is a measure of how much variability there is in the data. So for example, if you're looking at height, there's not a lot of variability in height. Most humans are about similar heights. I know you think, well, you're 5 feet and then he's like 6'7". Okay. I know a guy who's 6'7". He is tall. And there is a difference for sure. But when you think about it, step back a little. There's not a lot of 2-inch people or 2 feet people running around. There's not a lot of 10-foot people running around. And so height is generally kind of usually between 5 feet and 6.5 feet around there. There are a few people that are either a little shorter or a little taller. And so if you're going to look at the variability, how much variance there is, what you're looking at is the average height for women, for example, is 5'4", and the standard deviation is 2 inches. That means most of the population is between -1 standard deviation and +1 standard deviation, or 5'2" and 5'6". So if you're looking at a big difference between a population, you're going to look at how much of a standard deviation difference is there. If it's a whole standard deviation for height, it's going to be 2 whole inches. And so here, with looking at these fantastic Soul t-shirts, thank you, Kendall, you could see a trivial effect size would be, less than zero point 0.2 of a standard deviation, less than zero point 0.2 of a standard deviation, per 20% of one standard deviation. And so zero point 0.2 of 2 inches is not very big, right? A moderate effect size would be about half of a standard deviation. A large effect size is 0.8 or so of a standard deviation. And in research, it is not common to see large effect sizes. Mostly they are small to moderate. Here's another way of looking at that. You can see in the top graph, these are two what we would call normal distributions. In other words, we kind of assume that most variables are normally distributed. That means that there are a bunch of people in the middle and fewer people with extreme values. And so the average is more toward the middle, and the standard deviation is going to help you see how flat or how tall that distribution is. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense so that you can kind of gauge how standard deviation might affect something. A standard deviation that's big is going to result in a flatter curve. A standard deviation that's small is going to result in a much taller curve that's not very flat. So on our anxiety symptoms, what we did was we used the Generalized Anxiety Disorder 7, the GAD-7, to measure anxiety. This is a great measure, very reliable and valid, that looks at frequency of anxiety symptoms over the past 2 weeks. And here's what we found. We found a huge change in anxiety. The mean at baseline was close to 8, and at 4 weeks was under 4. So it dropped by over half. This is huge. And if you see, here's the standard deviation, 4.57 at baseline. It tightened up a little bit by 4 weeks, which means that people are kind of closer to the mean at the 4-week mark. This is a standard deviation that's about the same amount as the change that was made, right? So the standard deviation, 4.57 and 3.2, kind of pull them together, you might get around 4. And so if you're looking at a change of 4, your effect size is about 1 standard deviation. And we did indeed find it's 1.04, which is pretty massive effect. That is way exciting. The fact that we had that much change in anxiety in only 4 weeks. And actually, as you see, 2 weeks was pretty dang good too. 2 weeks would really was definitely a large effect size. I started thinking about anxiety and I thought, okay, what is it that's making the difference? So let's find out a little bit more about the change in anxiety. How many people really made that much of a change? Was it a few? Was it a lot? How many made a big, like a point, like a one standard deviation or an effect size of one change in anxiety? So I looked at the difference between baseline and 4 weeks, different scores. And if your score got you so that you were actually more anxious at week 4 instead of at baseline, that only happened to 4 people. Differences that were, between minus and plus one, so there really was no difference. That happened in about 26 people. So about 25% of the people had really very little or no change. If you looked at people who had a different score over two, so this would be half of a standard deviation. You had a 59 who had at least half of a standard deviation, which would be that moderate effect size. And of those 59, 44 of them had a change over 4.5, which means an effect size of one. The fact that nearly 50% of people changed by by an effect size of 1 point, and it was 1.04. But this huge effect size for 44% is just astonishing to me. It's amazing. So I kept thinking about it. Who were these people that changed? What would predict people who changed versus the people who didn't change? So maybe 40% didn't really change, 60% really changed. So there's no difference whether or not they're in menopause. That didn't seem to indicate that they would change, be more likely to change more or not. So it wasn't menopause. It wasn't taking HRT or iodine, selenium. It wasn't that they differed in the amount of exercise that they did. It seemed most people just exercise, and so there's no real difference in that depending on whether or not you created change in anxiety. What we did see was there a little bit less sleep, just a tiny bit less sleep, 6.8 hours versus 7.15 hours. And so that doesn't seem like a lot of a difference, but the people who had more change started off with a little bit less sleep. And the people who had more change also started off with more fatigue. And so the fatigue difference was bigger, right? So they had 29 in fatigue versus 21 in fatigue for people who didn't really change very much. And so it might be that because they were more fatigued at the beginning, they had more opportunity to find change when taking the perimenopause package. So in the big picture, what that means is huge changes, at least like about 60% had that change of at least a half standard deviation. 44 experienced a full standard deviation. That effect size of 1.04 is massive. That's pretty amazing. Fatigue also changed. We use the FAS to assess fatigue. That's a 10-item self-report. Here's the change in fatigue. You can see there's also a big difference between baseline and 4 weeks, and that effect size was 0.95, so almost one. Again, a massive change. Hard to see this type of change in most research. So this is pretty amazing that this package would create such change. Okay, and then here is some qualitative feedback. I just selected a few of these comments to share with you, and I can tell you a little bit about the qualitative feedback, particularly in terms of people who were more constipated or less constipated. We did ask that question a little bit. Did you notice changes in your digestive issues? And so people would respond in that way. And there were maybe 10% that said that they were more constipated, and maybe 10% that said that they were less constipated. And most people didn't really say that there was much of a difference. But in the people that did say there was a difference, we saw this one comment: I'm having regular daily bowel movements. This has literally never happened ever. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thinking clearer, more energy, motivation, not as angry. Fantastic. My nails aren't as brittle. My skin isn't as itchy. Again, we didn't ask everybody to respond to the same way. We just said, give us some feedback And here are some general areas you could give us feedback in. Here are a couple more comments. More energy throughout the day. It's steady energy. There's no afternoon lull. I can accomplish. I've been able to focus better, feel more motivated. This is so great to hear. And so we're seeing a lot of very, very positive effects in this perimenopause package in terms of, especially in terms of these specific symptoms of anxiety and of fatigue. And I will keep you posted as we continue to find out more and do more analysis with this group. Thank you so much.
Well, there you have it. Just a sneak peek. Those are just two of the areas, and there are a number of other areas that will be analyzed. They're all part of that survey group. And as we finish the longer 3-month survey, those that continued on, that will also be integrated with the overall analysis. So you're going to hear more, and we're all going to hear more from Dr. Allison on this, but we thought you'd want to see what she is seeing and what we're hearing. Many of you participated in this study group, in this survey group, and so you had heard a little bit from those that you introduced the opportunity to. It's wonderful, wonderful, I think, affirming data to what we had hoped would be the case. Just in case you're wondering, and if you're newer to Soul, here's a picture of that package, the Perimenopause Core Package. It's these 3 products. You can see the new Vibrancy right there front and center, and then you can see Adaptable, which was the first and founding product of Soul Naturals, formulated for my wife, Donna. And then Soul Maca XD is the product on the left. These 3 products, not very many capsules a day. I believe in the case of Vibrancy, in this survey group, people were taking 1 a day. So this is not something where people were taking large quantities of capsules here. And we're really looking forward to the rest of the information. You'll be receiving it here in the next couple of months. We look forward to hearing more from Dr. Allison. And I actually love that she gave us a little bit of education on interpreting studies and surveys. It is something that is out there in the media, I would say. Studies are thrown out there all the time. And if you get into the nitty-gritty, I can tell you that just as Dr. Allison said, most often there is a propaganda behind them, and they aren't very carefully set up and not a really huge reliability. I love that Dr. Allison is very clear and open about all the results so that you can see those and be your own judge. So anyway, thank you again, Dr. Allison, for that report. And now I'd like to invite 2 of our Soul Elite brand specialists who are part of a team that has put together a community tool that I think has limitless potential to benefit everyone's life, whether I'm someone who is using the Soul Naturals products to make changes in my own wellness, whether I'm helping other people do that. So let's invite on Kristen Brunius and Denise Norbit. And I want to thank both of you for spending time tonight on Virtual Kickoff 2026. Thank you for being here. Kristen and Denise, I'd like to just start off I'd like to ask a couple questions, but the first, could you just tell us a little bit about this community group, I'm going to let you describe it because you'll do a better job than I will, and a little bit of your, what you view is the power of something like this or the usefulness of something like this. Let's start with Kristen, and then we'll go to Denise. Kristen.
Hey, thanks for having me, Greg.
Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's a Facebook group, and it was created with the intention of just what you said, creating a community. And so it's a place where we can put people of all different levels, whether they're just thinking about soul for the first time, whether they've purchased occasionally, all the way up to someone who has a monthly auto ship can go in there and feel like they're a part of something and that they can see what other people are doing. And so the goal is that it's a collaborative effort, that we're all sharing our experiences and we all learn from each other.
I love that. And I think we have a picture of it. Can we show that? And at the same time as we've got Kristen on here. Yeah. I don't know how big, I don't know if everyone can see that. There's a look at the page. Kristen, yeah. Do you want to describe, well, let's come back. I'm going to come back and let you describe some things before you scroll. Let's stay at the top for just a second here. Denise, tell me a little bit about your view of the power of something like this, and then we'll go back and hear a little more detail.
Okay, so I mean, it's very similar to Kristen. Obviously, we do business differently. I'm a practitioner, and I'm also a team builder, but I don't have a big social media presence. So I think I look at it as a collaborative group to build belief and celebrate the transformations that happen with soul. So it's a place for customers, specialists, and potentials. So it's a tool anyone can use. Like I said, Kristen and I have very different business models, but it's a fantastic place for us to build our businesses and share soul, build the belief in somebody just looking at it, building our belief every day, encouraging us of all the transformations that happen with soul.
I love that, Denise. Now, let me bounce back to Kristen really quickly. So, Kristen, tell us what kinds of things will you find if I go to? It's called One Soul, the One Soul, and I love that name, by the way. You can maybe, if you want to, you can comment on that. But tell me, what kinds of things will I find there? If you want to, we can even scroll through and you can talk us through it.
Yeah, so it actually has two different names, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Greg, because the One Soul community has a lot of power in those words, in that we are one soul. Denise and I are in completely different downlines. Many of us who work together, we're we're just connected because we're one soul. And so that's the first part of it. And then the community aspect of it is that we don't want anyone to feel alone. And so they can go into this group, and the intention is for people to take ownership. That whether you're, a first time buyer or you've been with Soul since the very first day, you can go and you can post your experience. Of course, I'm sure Denise will talk about, we ask that you don't use any medical terms or anything like that, but just share what soul is for you in your own words, which leads me to the second part of the title, which is stories of hope, because that's our mission. That's been my mission since I, found soul, 8.5 years ago. Was soul gave me hope when I was in a dark place, and we hope that people will find hope when they're in this group. So it's just set up like your basic Facebook group. If you scroll through, um, there's photos of, so there's Valerie shared about the new essential oil, and then you have some comments where people are sharing their experiences. This is a screenshot of someone who had an experience. It really is just your story of how soul has given you hope. There's a video I did describing the subscription, the auto ship, and showing a few of the products I've made. It's really anything that you want to share within the group. And the thought is that this doesn't belong to any one specialist. This is for everyone.
That's awesome, Kristen. And so really, they are centered on the product, my product experiences, but it's also more. It's my experience overall, how Soul's bringing hope, and I love that. And I want to say to you, because you use the phrase, "We hope that people find hope through it," and I looking at it from a little bit of the inside but the outside, because this is being run by you all, and I love that it is leader led. I can tell you it does do that, and that people see that and they now believe, okay, this happened here, that's my situation, and it starts all the right things happening. So I really appreciate that, and I love that it's open to everyone. I noticed when we were scrolling there was a little giveaway. There's been some fun going on recently where we've been doing some giveaways as people are tied into this, right? I don't know if there's anything there that you wanted to mention on that, Kristen.
Yeah, absolutely. You made me think of something else that I wanted to say. Another thing that I really hope people find is when they're scrolling through these posts that they see themselves in it. And so, if they see a story of another, like for me, if they see a story of a mom who's just exhausted and anxious all the time, that they will find community in that, and that they will find that they can find help here. And so,
I love
I guess
that.
that goes back to the hope. Yeah. But we actually have a giveaway that we just posted about 20 minutes ago, and we're giving away a $350 package. It's, if you go back to the group, it should be one of the first things there.
Oh,
And
look
we're
at it
asking
there.
for your, yeah, yep. So we're asking for your transformation, and we purposely use the word transformation because we really want to hear how soul has impacted your life in a deep way. And so people have already started commenting on that. I'm really excited to see what comes out of that. And Carly from the office is going to pick a winner at 6 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. And it's just going to be a random winner of anybody who's commented on that post. So make sure you go in there and comment, because that's a pretty awesome giveaway.
That's amazing. And so whether I'm already there or if this is the first time I'm hearing about it, I can connect in. Anyone can connect in. And that actually brings me to, if I can jump back to Denise. Denise, you felt, I could feel the passion when you first talked about this with me. And I think part of it was you were talking to me about the people involved, how much you loved. There are several people involved in making this happen to get it going and off the ground. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So this isn't just me and Kristen doing this. It's actually a group that has formed sort of organically. It kind of happened. And so I would like to recognize the other people because we're working on some bigger, I wouldn't say bigger projects, but a system of projects. So there's more coming, is what I'm saying. And I love this group that's collaborating because we all have something different we're bringing to the table. And that's what's so beautiful about soul is like you can do soul however you want to do soul, right? There's so many opportunities, so many ways to do it. And the strengths that each of us bring to it is really enriching the whole experience. And I think the final products, I don't know if that's the right word, the final outcomes of our collaboration. And so, of course, Valerie Bledsoe and Eric and Tammy Peterson and Kristen and I are working together, and we're such different people. It's so amazing to see how we can all just fill up each other's needs. And that's kind of what the group is about too. It's like coming there and sharing and being part of a community that is bringing something very special to people and helping them understand what they have in their hands. So, yeah, so that is very exciting to me. Did I answer your question actually?
You certainly did. And now let me just add the second part of my question, because this is an open collaboration, and that's what I love about it. It's not closed or defined. So anyone listening tonight, I was so excited to have it be part of Virtual Kickoff. As you're listening tonight, if this is something you'd like to know, you've heard some names there from Denise, and reach out to your mentor. And there is something that you can do. Maybe just touch really quickly, Denise. If I'm brand new or in any way I'd like to connect into this and be a part of this, is it as simple as I go there on Facebook and I follow it? Is it as simple as that?
Yes. I mean, your mentor can send you the link, or I believe Kristen knows better about this than I do if you can search for it and not. So maybe she can comment on that later. But yes, so anybody is welcome. The more diversity we have in there, actually, the richer the group becomes and the different viewpoints that are shared. So yeah, anybody can be in there, whether they're a customer, whether they're not a customer, they're just looking, they're just curious. And that's another point. So this is called an ATM group. So it's add tag message, ATM group. And so because like I said, I don't have a big social media presence, but I use social media every day in my business because I use Messenger. And so the add tag message, I always invite, of course, so we don't spam, but I invite people if they're curious and they want to learn more to the group. If they say, sure, put me in, then I will send them the link to join. And I'll tell them, like, when you get in, let me know so I can tag you in some of the posts that I think would be interesting to you. And this is why we're encouraging everybody to participate in this group. You don't have to be one of us five that's organizing things. It's for everyone, anybody that wants to be in there. So, so I say, let me tag you. And then what I'll do when they say, okay, I'm in, or I check the group and I see that they're in, I will find a post. Let's say they're dealing with perimenopause. I will find a post about that. And that's why it's so important to share your experiences. That's how you help other people. And tag them in it. And then I'll message them and say, okay, I tagged you in this post that I think you'll really enjoy. So it's a relationship building tool. It's how we build a solid team, a solid business. It's a place where you can show how much you care, but it's all the work is not on you, right? We're helping each other by contributing, commenting, being interactive in the group.
I love that, Denise. And just two quick things that I want to add is, as I've listened to both you and Kristen, great effort is being taken to keep this quite a pure, I'll use it that way, a very one sort of this one idea, a place to come and share so that others can benefit in just the way that Denise just outlined. So no matter how I might be doing my business, I don't need to worry about certain systems or methods being promoted. This is about these stories of hope and these experiences with product, as Kristen told us, and it's being kept quite pure so that all can use it. I love that. And then the second point, you just alluded to it, Denise, especially if I'm newer, I can see a real power when I join a group where they have lots and lots of people and they've got this wonderful database where I can hear experiences and gain all that information quickly. Well, that's pretty tough when I'm just joining, but not with One Soul Stories of Hope. That whole area is taken care of because we all join in and we build that power for everyone. So let me come back to you, Kristen, and then I'm looking at our time. We probably need to wrap up. We're going to hear more about this. We'll keep tracking this as we go forward this year, okay? But let me come back to you. Kristen, what would you do to button this up in terms of things that you'd like to tell people about how they can connect or anything else that we maybe haven't covered today that people need to hear about this?
I love that. And I could talk about this for hours. So it's a good thing that you're going to tell me to button this up. But I kind of look at it as like this is social credibility. So it's no different than if you're with a group of people and everyone's telling you how great a restaurant is. It makes you want to go to that restaurant. So in the same way, when you go to this group and you see all these people talking about Cinemate or vibrancy or whatever it is, it gives you the confidence. It's kind of like that tribal mentality. And so the other thing I wanted to mention is when Denise described the ATM group, even though we work our businesses totally differently, I do mine 99.99% on social media, I still use the functionality of the group almost in an identical manner as she does, meaning that if I have somebody who's interested or they're curious, or even if I have an existing member or specialist asking about a product, I will do the same thing that she did. I will go into the group, I will tag them in the particular posts, and then I'll message them and let them know. So it's just pretty cool. And we didn't plan that. Denise and I hadn't talked ahead of time. So it's just proof that this can be used in, no matter how you're working your business, it can really be beneficial. And then the last thing before you'll tell me to be quiet, is I like to think of it as, you can't have a football team with just a quarterback. You have to have all of the players working together. And so if it's just a handful of us who are sharing testimonies and experiences within the group, it's just not going to be as effective as the entire one soul community coming together. Everyone has a soul experience. It can be small, it can be large, it could be anywhere in between. And your story could give the hope to somebody who's you don't know who you can inspire, even when you think that it's an insignificant change that you've experienced. So please go share in there, everybody.
I love that, Kristen. And to you and Denise, thank you again for joining us tonight. I love the information and the vision that you've kind of created in my mind. I want to echo their invitation. Please do join it. It is being very, very carefully run in the sense that it remains pure and universal, and its power will be in all of us using it. So again, I want to thank both of them one more time for being on tonight, for all of you that are being part of it, and for those who will join. You will make a huge difference. All right, let's move on now to our next segment. Jordan mentioned 2 fantastic products that we launched last fall, and we're going to talk just a minute because you need to hear this about the second of those 2 products, the Soul Agile. Here to tell us a little bit more is our founder and vice president of brand, who has many, many talents, but among them, and maybe even greatest of all, his beard, Mr. Kendall Beard. Oh, Bird.
Thanks, Greg. Man, that was great. Thank you for sharing that. It's incredible when a community can come together like that and really support each other. I just love that. And then the results from Vibrancy and the menopause package. Wow, can you believe that? That's incredible. And talking about incredible things. At Ignite in October, we launched a new product, Agile, and it really hit the ground running. It was incredible, the response that we got from you, and it sold very, very quickly. In fact, we underestimated how much you would love it by several weeks. So it ran out really quick. We learned that you really loved it. While we were at the event, we captured some thoughts of some people of their first thoughts on the product, and so let's take a look at those now.
Hi, I'm Sherry, and I want to tell you about Soul Agile. It is refreshing, it's uplifting, it's soothing, it is invigorating too. So it does a little bit of both sides of the spectrum, and it's a good pain reliever.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I just got a sneak peek at the Agile, which is amazing. It was a very unusual smell, but I felt so much warmth and movement. It was like I put some on my kidneys, I put some over my heart, but I just felt like almost like everything was just kind of clearing and melting away. It just felt so comforting in a way. So anyways, I am so excited to see what this does for us.
Yeah, so it is fantastic. We really, really love it. But what is it? Let's talk a little bit about that. So Soul Agile is in our clarifying category. It's an essential oil product. It's 7 pure essential oils and a base of safflower oil. It's ready to use. It's in a roll-on. You can put it anywhere, and it's very easy to use. It's $24.95. And just the other day at our Soul Showcase, Greg announced that it will be a permanent, what we call a full stock item. So before it was just a temporary item that was for use to kind of use as something to share and to get people excited. But with the overall overwhelming response that we got, we decided to add it as a full stock item so you don't ever have to worry about it not being there for you. Agile is all about clarity. It's, of course, in our clarifying line, and it's about flexibility. It opens up physical pathways, activates and opens neuro-emotional pathways, and brings and restores flexibility. And we're talking both mind and body here. When you smell it, you can feel it open up in you. When you put it on your sore muscles or your body, you can feel it giving you flexibility. In it are 7 great ingredients. We've got wintergreen, eucalyptus, we've got clove, we've got red thyme, camphor, menthol from mint, and lavender. And when you smell it, you can smell the wintergreen. It's one of the highlights of the product. You can smell that, and it's really nice. And the eucalyptus, and just that little bit of lavender in there too. It's really, really, really nice. And you have loved it as well. And I made a call out to people to get you to send me videos of your thoughts, how you're using it, what you like about it. And I got a lot back. And so we aren't going to be able to see all of them. So if you sent one in, so thank you for doing that. And we will use them. We'll put them out there. But we're going to watch a few of them now.
Agile, so divine. My first smell, I was just taken away. Oh, I love me some camphor and wintergreen. It is just amazing, but I love it most for my oldest injury of about 40 years ago. You know, working hard labor. It helps to ease and bring some little bit of heat, not too much. Love it, love it, love it.
How do I use Soul Agile? On the wrist, baby. That's how I do it. I use it for when my thinking is a little hazy, getting ready to give a piano lesson or a tutoring lesson, and I need to be sharp. Put a little bit of that on, take a big whiff, and I am ready to go. I love Agile.
It's calming, it opens airways, it's got anti-inflammatory properties, it supports stress relief and my mental clarity. Sign me up because Agile smells freaking divine. I absolutely love it.
Hi guys, Tammy Peterson here, and I wanted to tell you really quickly how I'm using Agile when I travel. I've had to travel a ton lately and I don't have time to get sick. It's just not in my schedule. So I've used this on my nose. I'll actually just rub it on my fingers, then all over my nose. That way it'll keep the germs from getting in and starting to get me sick. I'll also rub it all over my hands after I've touched anything, whatever it is. Even after I've used the bathroom, in those horrible bathroom stalls, and I've washed my hands, I'll still use this when I get back to my seat. Also, my lifelong problem has been my ears. So when I fly, I always walk away with pain for weeks afterwards, even dizziness. So what I'll do is I'll take this, rub it all around my ear, and then I'll go from here all the way down so it can get rid of the congestion. It works great. And this Agile oil smells so good, you guys. You will love it. It's a win-win. It smells good, it kills germs, and it helps my sinus and congestion. So I hope you love it too.
I do love it. We sure do love it here at the office, and you do too. So if you haven't tried it, get you some and try it. It's great. But now it is time to hear some more from our founder and executive vice president, Jordan Peterson.
Thank you, Kendall. It's good to be back on. I'll tell you what, Sherry, you had me at it's so smooth. I just loved that. Well done. If you haven't tried, Cindy Sansonito says, I can't wait to try Agile. You can't get it. It's fantastic. You are going to love it. So, man, hasn't this been fun tonight? You know, when I was listening to Kristen and Denise talk, they were talking about the opportunity to come together on that Facebook group and have that community feel, and then also to have the opportunity to hear the stories and testimonials of others and just how much that is just adds power to everything that we're doing. And I'll tell you what, we couldn't agree more with that. And so what we've been working on the last little while, and if you go and look at the website now, you're going to see that there's a new heading along the top of there. And that new heading is reviews right here. And if you go ahead and click on that, you're going to see some recognizable faces. We just saw Tammy Peterson. There she is again. And it says here, premium ingredients, formulas, testing, and results since 2012. People like you share why they choose Soul. And then as you come down, not only do we have some videos here that they'd be able to watch and see what we have going on with Soul, but then as you scroll down, we have an area that says, hear what more customers are saying. As you can see, we have kind of 6 right here that people can see. But as you click on load more, you'll see that we have lots and lots and lots and lots, and we'll keep adding more and more to this. So if somebody really wants to go down the rabbit hole of just seeing what people are saying about Soul in general, there's plenty there for them to check out and see. So it's just a great thing for them to look at. Then at the bottom here, we have Satinka's story and some other stories as well. Beginning your story, just some great information here. It talks about why we do what we do here, our purity, our potency, and our identity. It's all about what we have here with our products, and I think it's going to be a great tool for you guys to be able to use moving forward to share with people. And this is available on everybody's website, so everybody will see this and be able to see it. Now, not only that, we live in a world where seeing things on websites and getting some ideas of reviews and what people think of our products is also advantageous for those that want to look at individual products. And so what we have there as well is if you come to our shop page, we've been uploading these and we're looking at different opportunities to go ahead and gather these in a grander scale. But if you click on any product, for instance, our Soul Complete, you can see now that we have a star rating for each of our product as well. And then as is with most review systems, if you click on it, you can go through and read what the customers are saying about it. And we have different pages with reviews here as well. Such great information here. It makes it super easy to find things. We have it for pretty much all of our products now. And so it's just going to be really easy for people to go ahead and see what other people are saying, how people are using it, get an idea of what others are doing with it. Here's some stuff for our Soul Royal, for instance, and we got pages of reviews there for people to be able to see and understand what we have going on with it. So we're just really excited about what we have going with that. And you're going to be able to really use that to your advantage, I think, when people go and look at that. If you're like me, when you go look at any sort of a product, you kind of want to read what others are saying about it to see if it's going to be a fit for you. And now we have that up and running. So I think it's going to be a great tool for all of us to be able to use. Now, with that, we love what we are doing for the month. We love what we have going on. We love the growth we're seeing. There's still opportunities to continue to earn that travel cash to prepare to come to South Padre. With that, we wanted to give you an end of the month sale for everybody who's available and wants to come be a part of this. You can get $20 off of a minimum order of at least $100. The promo code is 20OFF, 20OFF. And it's live through the end of the month. And then as usual, we have other promos and fun things coming throughout the rest of the year. If I were listening to this right now, I would make note to be on Monday for the Monday Morning Talk and Success. I have a feeling something else is going to be coming that's going to help you grow and build. So make sure that you jump on live with Greg on Monday to be able to hear more about that. I think there's going to be some great things coming. But as always, we have a lot of fun things coming throughout the end of throughout the year, really. And so it's going to be great. So again, don't miss that, and you're going to find out some great things there. Well, now as we kind of wind this down a little bit, we would just be missing something if we weren't able to hear from our leader and his vision of kind of what we have going on into 2026. So without further ado, let's bring back Greg Halliday, our founder and president.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you all for spending some time with us tonight. I hope you felt it's been well spent. And we, as Jordan said, we didn't want to finish up without sharing a little bit of our vision for this coming year. And I put quite a bit of thought in. You know what? I even have today, it's written down, and I'm going to stick to my notes because there's a lot to say, and I want to make sure that I say it all for you this year. So yes, I'm going to put my reading glasses on. It is now time. My own story here. I bought reading glasses 20 years because I was starting to need them 20 years ago. Sorry. And some people who know me know this. As we began the Soul products, and in particular the Soul Excel, I found that I didn't need them for an additional, 14 years into Soul now. Just in the last year and a half, I've started using them. So I actually put off the reading glasses for a long period. But you know what? I realized that's okay. That's okay. I'm good with them right now. So I'm going to use them tonight and just share a little bit about where Soul stands. I know that some of you this evening might be listening for the first time, or you might listen to the recording. If you've got someone you're speaking with and you'd like them to get a little glimpse into where Soul is right now, you'll have this link and this recorded live stream will be there. And I hope that this can be useful to you. First, I'd like to mention a little bit about our geography, our space in the world here at Soul Naturals. Soul was the first company to create adaptogen catalyzed products for both mind and body wellness. Since then, and in recent years, we've seen others become interested, other companies, and there are mild variations on this concept, adding adaptogens to formulas. But we do it in a unique way. We lead the market with specially concentrated, combined adaptogen formulas that are paired with other herbs. Sometimes we'll put 5 or 6 adaptogens in a formula. This is not typical and wasn't before Soul started, but there are specific reasons for it and results that come because of it. We now have 35 proprietary formulas owned by the company and designed to meet the most pressing wellness needs that we see in the world today. We purposely place our therapeutic formulas within a powerful support system, the Soul community. That is key. It's better than AI. It's real people multiplied by the strength of the Soul community. It is true, you can buy our products online, but there are many supportive mentors in line to be evaded in your particular personal situation. I think we saw a little bit of it tonight with Kristen and Denise talking about something that they and others are creating for you. I think I can speak truth there. That's even better than AI. Our brand specialists, our mentors, friends, and Soul family siblings, our Soul members, their mind and body health conscious neighbors and friends. All are important here. Each person matters. Each person refines and expands our focus. Each person inspires our activity here at the home office and contributes to our long-term pursuit of unlimited availability of Soul Naturals in serving virtually everyone's need, physical or emotional, and even social. That is our mission and always has been. Our contribution, how we make the world better, includes the following. We bring strength and balance to wellness through our adaptogen catalyzed formulas. We use them in an innovative manner and in a concentrated therapeutic amount. We offer lasting solutions to even difficult and chronic health challenges and imbalances. We bring uplift through human connection. We provide real energy to live well, physically and socially. Energy is what's lacking when cells don't do what they need to do. And I think that energy also is what's lacking when we don't feel that motivation that we want to feel and that we enjoy and that gives us purpose in living. Our formulas and our community make a difference in that. We also offer a solution to social isolation. I'm going to mention a little bit in a minute more about that, but it is an epidemic that is worsening. Next, we give a business opportunity that is without restriction. That is a big deal to me. It is also without limit. We provide a place where dreams can be built unique for each individual. Our compensation plan that we've put a lot of effort into over the years lifts finances right now, has the ability this month, even if I'm joining this month, to make a real difference in the present, but also provides for a reliability over time and consistency. That has been proven now in our 14 years. Now, Soul has some strengths that I would say are uncommon. And that's just at least from my viewpoint in the last 35 years being around this industry. First, we do our own manufacturing. It might surprise many people to see how many even well-known companies have someone else manufacture their products. Blake Christensen, who is a founder and is the VP of supply chain, is also the owner of our manufacturing facilities, which span 3 buildings, 88,000 square feet of space, with 14 clean rooms, which is where products are manufactured, at an incredibly high standard. As certifiers come through from various agencies, they often comment how they've never seen a facility as nice as his. Well, it is new, but it's also been done with intentional choices for high-grade machinery and infrastructure to maintain purity and potency. There's also a full order fulfillment and shipping facility, kitting facilities, and storage areas that are quite large to manage whatever needs Soul has looking into the future. It truly has been a project of many years. It is quite spectacular. I've known Blake Christensen for many years. Actually, almost all of my 35 years in the industry. And I know the kind of man he is and the integrity that's gone into that. I would invite you, when you get a chance, if you're out here anytime, come and look us up, and you can go down at any time and we can walk through with Blake the facilities, or come to the next event that we have out here. Blake and his team oversee our 10-point Soul Certain quality standard. Those 10 points are listed so that not just so people can see what we stand for, but more importantly, so that we can see what we promise to give you, and that can remain throughout the years. We have a number of certifications at our facilities that Blake and his team have worked hard to obtain. The facility is GMP, or Good Manufacturing Certified, NSF Certified, SQF Certified, Organic Certified, Kosher and Gluten-Free Certified. And then there's some, I would say, more minor certifications. Any certification that is meaningful, Blake has made sure to get, not because he wouldn't do that work otherwise, but in order to provide that affirmation. Now, to get an idea of the task that this, I would say, uncommon quality of Soul Naturals that it spans, the raw materials that are sourced by Blake and his team from all over the world have to be third-party tested before they're even released for manufacturing. And then they're blended and they're bottled and they're sealed and then tested again before they're released for sale. And all of this just for us at Soul Naturals, containing more than 300 different herbs and essential oils that are sourced from all over the world. In today's world, there's a lot of change, a little bit of upheaval, there's a little bit of volatility. You have tariffs and you have political changes and global uncertainty, and all of this weighs into that process of bringing these wonderful global formulas to your house. That is all managed by Blake and his team, and they do a phenomenal job. Next uncommon characteristic, we maintain private ownership at Soul with dedicated investors. These investors are championed by Alan Reed. If you don't know Alan, come to a Soul event. He'll be in South Padre. And you know what? He's going to kill me for saying this, but go up to him and thank him, give him a big hug. Because Soul would not be Soul without Alan. And I would say the same thing about Blake, and I would add the other founders as well, and also many of our brand specialists who from the very beginning built what we now are leveraging in 2026 at Soul Naturals. Next point, Soul is mission driven. We're not a transaction aimed or a venture capital owned company. A large majority of companies in our industry Too many of them are funded from the outside, and they build to a point and then they're merged or sold or disappear. Soul, through some recent years of great sacrifice, has been maintained as a private entity with, as I mentioned, dedicated investors and leadership. And this is not common, but it is the reason Soul continues in its mission. Next point, Soul does have experience, much experience in its various directors, executives, and founders, and in our brand specialists. This is even more important with all the change that we see in today's world, the challenges that come, because the experience is combined with an open-mindedness to progress and move forward and meet the needs of those who need Soul. Our scientific advisory group, for instance, and we provide strong educational resources. Dr. Allison, you heard from tonight. Valerie Bledsoe is also a member of the Scientific Advisory Board and brings that health practitioner a very, very successful, and I would say learned. She's probably going to kill me for saying that too, because Valerie she's not a person who you talk with her and you're like, okay, right up front, I know how much she knows. I think she holds back. She has this modesty about her. But if you press, you will find the depth and the breadth of Valerie's experience, and she is invaluable in our Scientific Advisory Council, bringing that balance. And I would say the last item that I would not call too common, having known many companies such as ours and having many friends in executive positions in those companies, we have this wonderful collaboration among our brand specialists. And I would say this year in 2026, I am seeing something here that I've never seen before. Even at Soul, I am seeing an extra special collaboration and opportunity, which always brings strength and success with it, happening at Soul. So if you're here sort of as a newer person, or if your life has been going on and you're returning your focus to Soul, what a great time you picked. You're going to love this year. Now, speaking of that, in 2026, we have some exciting plans, and I've just outlined 3 or 4 things going on here. Plan number 1, overarching, is we intend in 2026 to share Soul Power with the world. Soul Power is this community we're talking about that brings wellness, that I think alleviates and could obliterate any kind of feelings of social isolation, and brings the two together for a lot more fun and excitement and success in life. That's Soul Power, and that is our overarching theme this coming year. We are a community of uplift. And I love this little imagery. I'm going to show you a picture of coals. The coals, they're a great analogy to me because coals share energy, and together they burn infinitely longer together than when they're separate. In fact, when we're separate, if coals are like people in a community, when we get separated, it's easy to burn out. It can become overwhelming at times when you're by yourself. I know, and I have felt that at times in my life, things that I've gone through, and I am pretty certain that most of you would agree. But community and friends bring that energy back when they are there and they're supportive. And that's what Soul's all about, is sharing that energy. And that's the Soul Power I'm talking about in 2026. Well, why do I mention that tonight? Because of this wonderful phenomenon. I'm seeing it in our English-speaking community and our Spanish-speaking community. We have the Spanish-speaking group putting together some wonderful things. In fact, I'll mention that in just a second, that are also open to all. And we've heard a little bit about what's happening on the English side. We have Soul leaders in position and on track right now to double and more their Soul business in every aspect, volume and earnings, and most importantly, their amazing neighborhood in the Soul community. I love seeing that happen. And these leaders are collaborative. They'll share and they're welcoming to others. You can connect with them. I think if you're like Jordan, we keep our eyes wide open and join us in Monday morning Talking Success. That happens every Monday. You'll connect with these leaders. Now, next point is our Soul Kitchen. I like to call it the Soul Kitchen. There's always cooking going on there. There is product research and development as a way of life here at Soul Naturals. We heard tonight a little bit about the study that was begun at the end of 2025. We will continue and finish out that study, and then we have 2 more studies planned in 2026. These studies are not only affirming of our product efficacy, but they also represent an opportunity to grow and share, to reach new people who need the solutions that these products provide. So make sure you stay in touch with us this year so that you can benefit, you personally, and those in your soul neighborhood can benefit from these studies. And related to that is product development. There are 2 areas where we're doing some significant product development, and you're going to hear more about that as the year progresses. We're not ready to move on yet from Vibrancy and Soul Agile. We'll never move on from them, but to bring more of this product development with adaptogen catalyzed formulas to your toolbox in wellness and in helping others through the community. Next item for 2026, we are increasing leadership, travel, and collaboration. I do believe, and I feel this, a new and exciting era beginning at Soul Naturals this year in 2026. There are 2 leadership events. Jordan mentioned one. Can't wait for South Padre. It's not too late, by the way. Join us, okay? And then there will be another one, which we will announce. I believe we'll announce it in South Padre or right close to then. That will be happening in the fall, so you get another chance. These are going to be game changers. The activities we have planned and the collaborations and work we'll do there, lots of fun and lots of collaboration, will make a big difference. They are an important part of our leadership strategy this year. Now, the other part is happening anytime, anywhere, all year long. And that is what I would describe as multi-leader collaborations like the One Soul community that we heard about tonight, and other projects that Denise alluded to that are coming together with a team of leaders from various groups collaborating together in English. So watch for that. There's going to be lots more coming that will benefit and strengthen all. And on the Spanish side, for instance, they have now completed a Soul University, the first one of this year. They did one in the last quarter of last year where a training system was open to everyone. And many leaders collaborated to do the teaching. I have heard from various people who participated how much it strengthened them. So there is much happening in terms of leadership collaboration. And what I love about it is it's open to all and respectful of all. Now, the last point that I want to mention that is a strategy in 2026 is always a strategy at Soul, and we continue in that. I call it direct Soul Leader collaborations with the home office. If you're a Soul Leader rank or higher, reach out to us. If 2026 is an all-in year for you to work on your soul business, we all have different reasons, but I've heard from a few that their reasons in life are bringing them to make that their primary focus in building their soul business this year. If this is you, you can collaborate with us and create special campaigns and opportunities and incentives. So this is something, again, that is not a closed or exclusive opportunity. It is something open to all. If your rank is not yet Soul Leader, talk with your mentor. And I'm sure your mentor will be involved in parts of this. And if not, they can be. And you could work together. There is always an avenue where there is collaboration in soul. I want to tell you how deeply committed we are in Soul to partnering with our brand specialists. We do this to ensure mutual success and a fun, uplifting experience together. We think your journey in soul should be fun, uplifting, and easy. Now, it's not that there isn't a lot of work, but it's fun work. It should not be perplexing work. It should be fun, and in that sense, easy, in that answers can be found. You don't have to be an expert in everything, just like we heard in the One Soul community page. We've got lots of people with experience there. I can just tap into it and have a lot of fun work. Let me just conclude now with a couple of words on why soul is so desperately needed now more than ever. First, health needs, physical and emotional. They are greater than ever. This is not simply a statement made out of thin air. The numbers confirm this. Chronic illness in the United States in the last 10 years is now to the point where 76% of adults, this is up from 73% 10 years ago, but 76% report that they suffer from at least one major chronic condition. 3 out of 4 adults, at least one major chronic condition, 3 out of 4. Now, that number includes 50% who say they have multiple chronic conditions. So half of those 3/4 have multiple chronic conditions. And those trends are worsening and getting younger, moving down to people of younger ages. By 2050, that number is expected to increase even further. They don't give a percentage. Now, this is an April 17th, 2025 report by the CDC. April 17th, 2025. That's the physical situation. It is not doing what it should do, which is improve. But we can help there. Soul can help there. Second, mental health needs. More than 1 in 5 adults live with mental illness. That's 20%. It's slightly over 20%. It's 21%, I think. This percentage is not changing much. But you know what is changing? In recent year, the numbers of people seeking treatments is up. So people aren't wanting to keep living with it. They want something to help them. Again, this is part of Soul's mission. Now, social isolation, I mentioned that earlier. Social isolation is of particular note to us at Soul because we believe the Soul community has great power to alleviate this quickly. As a person improves their nutrition and regains mental and physical balance and wellness, and is plugged into a community like ours, social isolation can be something that is not part of their life. Do you know that in the past 6 years, since 2019, social isolation has increased by 50%, 50, half again, the number of people saying they experience it. Soul is needed here, and we're ready to help. And finally, in the area of financial need, there is a lot of upheaval. We are in a period of change economically, in our industry, and overall, I would say in the US and around the world. And periods of change always are accompanied by uncertainty, anxiety, surprises. But they also, without fail, are periods of new opportunity. Opportunities are found in meeting the needs in the current situation. And they're also found in collaboration for plans that meet future needs. Both of those things. To transition forward in times like this, people need immediate financial help. They need to see something quickly so that they can believe. And they also need purpose and a plan so that it doesn't repeat the situation. They need a long-term pathway they can understand and see. And that pathway must be bolstered by the combined efforts of themselves and a community, a supportive community. It is difficult to go it on your own and solve that long-term plan, but it is not difficult with a community that is supportive and collaborative. So Soul in 2026 is focused on providing both of these. The structure that's already in place in our compensation plan does give immediate help. I could give you some examples, but I won't do that tonight. Examples that are significant in a person's journey in their first month or two. But it also, because of the work these past 14 years, the building work of Soul Naturals, there is a structure in place for long-term strength, and some of our brand specialists who have been here from the start have seen that as well and can give personal testimony to that. We were founded here at Soul Naturals to benefit you. And what I mean by that is you personally. I know that your situation is unique to you, but we were founded to have that flexibility. You can make use of our products, our education, and you can enhance the Soul family and community with your presence and benefit from their strength. You can also become a brand specialist. You can join what I'm calling the Great 2026 Leader Collaboration. I love that phenomenon that we're seeing. You can be part of that. And let me just say, last of all, you can find your true colors at Soul. Why do I say that? Because Soul's products are organized in 4 colors: green, blue, red, and yellow, symbolizing balance, calm, lift, and clarify. This refers to health physically and health emotionally, both of those things. Whatever your need is, in the moment or over time, you'll find that lift or that calm or that elusive balance of body and mind here at Soul. You'll also find a home in the Soul family, where whatever your desired participation is, there's opportunity for fun, for success, for new experiences, new friends, or even new heights. So join us in Soul Naturals in 2026. We want you. We commit ourselves to your success. And we look forward to a wonderful year together. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being part of our 2026 virtual kickoff.